Hello, I'm here to give you a little overview of how to use Timeline.js, which is an online interactive timeline maker that utilizes Google Sheets. Let's get started. So your teacher should have shared with you a template that looks like this through Google Classroom. Um, Important thing to remember is don't do anything to this very first row. You want to leave that as is. It's important that you always have a date uh, or a year included in year. So we're going to ask that you start with the year 1939 and end with the year 1945. So 1939 would denote when the war starts in Europe, and 1945 denotes the end of the war when it comes to a conclusion in Europe and then later on in Asia with Japan. And it's going to be up to you to determine and figure out what are the events that kind of fill in between that are significant that you think have an impact on the overall scope of the war. So what do you need to include? Well, you're going to find that a document that looks like this has been shared with you, and it kind of explains how the different columns are organized and what they look like. So you can read that over. But basically, you're going to start to fill in the spreadsheet here with specific dates. And I've created an example. So this is an example that I made of like when I was in school and going through college and getting a career. And if you take a look here, you can see I have the very start point when I was born. I put a little display date here. I have a headline, "Hello world, it's me," and some text. And you can see I've included some media. And we're going to ask that you always give credit to wherever you got the media from. And you can see that I've gone through here and I've come up with a handful of different events that I thought were worthwhile. So the nice thing about this is it doesn't matter if you have to put your events in chronological order. If they get out of order, that's okay. The software that we're going to use is going to automatically order everything in chronological fashion so that we've got a starting point, a middle point, and an ending point. Now, what do you need to do to get your timeline created? Well, first of all, fill in all the details for the spreadsheet. Um, that's the most important thing. What you're then going to do is you're going to go to File, and you're going to go to this button here. It says Publish to the Web. You can click on that. And you're going to find that it's going to ask you, do you want to publish the entire document as a web page? And the answer is yes. And you're going to hit Publish. And you're just going to leave it at that. You're just giving the spreadsheet the opportunity to be seen online. So since I've done that already, I'm going to copy this link that's found at the top here. And I'm going to copy that. And we're going to go back to this timeline page. Now, this will be shared with you. And you're going to go down and make a timeline. Just hit that little green button, and it's going to jump you down to the bottom of the page. We've already given you the template. That's what you've been working in. What you need to do is go click where it says copy the spreadsheet or paste the spreadsheet URL. I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit Control V, and I'm going to hit Enter. And from there, I'm going to go from generating a timeline to sharing a timeline. And you can see that there's this link. I can copy that. I'm going to copy Control C and paste that. I'm going to open up a new tab and just paste that in there. And poof, there's my timeline. So the way that this works is you just hit the little arrow and you can navigate back and forth. And you can see how I've created everything. So it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. You can use different pictures and things. All you got to do is get the URL address for the picture. So if we go back here, you can see I've got the URL addresses. I've given credit to them all. If you take a look on the other end of the spreadsheet, you can change the color of the background. That's something secondarily to worry about. I'd say worry about just getting the timeline created. We can always tinker with making it pretty later on. So the key is start out with your template, fill in the supporting details, as I've done here. You're going to go to File, Publish to Web. You're going to publish it to the web, and you're going to leave that blank. You're going to copy your URL address, and you're going to go to the timeline page, and you're going to go to number 3 here. You're going to paste that information in there, hit enter, and you'll be given a link to share, and that's what your timeline will look like. So you just paste that in the URL bar and then hit enter, and poof, you've got your own timeline. And ultimately, you're going to paste the link of your timeline into Google to share your timeline back in Classroom. So that way your teacher can take a look at what you've created. So good luck. See what you can come up with in terms of events that you think are significant and have an impact on World War II. All right, have a good day.